Hi, beautiful ones. I just would love to share an event, a physical event that happened in my life, and it is about manifesting healing and love. A couple weeks ago, I was called and told that my mother is being taken to the emergency room, and um, she, thank goodness, was in good hands. And they took her to the emergency room, and by ambulance, and I was just perfect timing, just getting done with clients, and I was able to grab some warm clothes and some water and phone charger, and I was out the door. And I got there close to the time that she was there, and I got to go back with her. And she was completely paralyzed on her left side. She had she had no cognitive skills. She couldn't. There was her brain and her thoughts were not connecting, and she's completely paralyzed. And my mother, who like is amazing, she looks 10, 15 years younger than her, but she really is, and she has the energy of much younger, 15 years younger. She doesn't stop. She's constantly doing things and healthy, and her lifestyle. So I went into the emergency room, and here is my mother. She beat me into the room, and she's completely paralyzed on her left side. Like, couldn't even look at me. She was out of it. She was basically in almost like a coma state. And I looked there and I said, "Oh no, this is not going to happen. I am not allowing this to happen." I was actually kind of angry because I just thought, this is a woman who has so much energy and just having to be doing something and going, and she's a busybody. She's and she's very, very type A. She has a lot of worrying. She's like, um, um, I definitely get my energy from my father. So she's she has, she can have anxiety and so on. And so I was like, no, this is not going to be how my mother is going to end her last years here. I am not accepting this. And while I was going in there, I know I texted the Trueism group and asked for manifesting prayers. Told my mom wasn't doing well. I'm heading into the hospital. And I know that my siblings also reached out for everybody. And I sat there and I literally would not allow this to happen. I didn't get upset either. I was like, nope, this is not going to be her end. This is not going to be it. I'm not accepting that. That's what I kept saying. I am not accepting this. This is not going to be her. It's not reality for me. And so I sat down beside her and I had my arm on her arm, and I started with help, asking for help, all the love and archangels, and I literally got to chant the Chata One from Mother God so many times. But I didn't get upset. I didn't cry. I was not upset at all. When she started coming back through, about 2.5 hours later, she was starting to be able to talk and so on, and be able to lift her arm and leg, um, and then when her head was starting to, she had two strokes basically on both hemispheres of her brain. So when she's coming back, she would start saying some really random things like, "Oh, we need to be at, where it's at is Tinseltown, and Tinseltown's an old theater area in this area, and she wasn't a person to even go to movies or anything, so I'm like, okay, sure, it's at Tinseltown. And I would giggle and laugh. And I'm like, I kind of felt like bad. I'm like, she's cracking me up. I love this. And I giggled a lot and prayed a lot and said her love. And everybody else was doing it too. She, her stroke, like I said, it hit both hemispheres, but it did not bleed out, thank goodness. And she, um, she was, like just kept coming back, energy, you know, in her left side. And what was one good thing is that she didn't feel any pain, but she was like a little kid. I was having to try to get her down. She tried to crawl here, there, when I'm like, stop. She had the little leads for EKGs off instantly. Like, I'm like, here we go. The pulse ox, she was always, I was like, you gotta put this on, you know, whatever. And I'm like, forget it. I'm done fighting with her. If like they need to get, you know, any vitals or whatever, they'll come in. And she just kept getting better and better and better. And her stroke was technically a 4 out of a 5 on the scale when she came in. And by the time she was ready to go to the actual floor, it was a 1. And they were all everybody was literally, they gave her 1 aspirin, an IV, and then we had to go get, you know, her CT with contrast, some x-rays, whatever. But by the time it was all said and done, she had 1 aspirin and lots of prayers, and she went to the floor completely moving her left side, not complete strength back yet. And her thoughts were still a little random, but good. Her short-term memory was not so great, but her long-term memory was good. And then we get to the floor, and she had, I would say, you know, like, then the next day she had some evaluations done, and, you know, she was doing really, really well. And she was literally discharged she wasn't in the hospital 2 full days. And so she got to come home to family. And we all helped her and changed our lifestyles to make sure she was with someone. And when they finally got to her evaluation for her physical therapy, PT, OT, speech, so on, when they got there, probably was about a week and a half after her stroke. And she kept saying, I didn't have one. Nothing happened to me. Everything's fine, because she was completely almost healed, except she was tired still. And her you know, like, she was still fighting with getting some thoughts like, well, what did I mean by that? You know, like, well, what is that? Where's that word? I can't find that word, type of thing. And so by the time that she got her evaluation, the PTOT, all of them, she passed it 100%. And everybody's scratching their heads and like, this is complete miracle. If you would see her and didn't know if something really, really happened, you have no clue something really happened. We know because she, you know, was still tired, and that her thoughts weren't, you know, completely connecting. It's been over, I would say, 3 weeks. 3 weeks today, actually. 3 weeks today from the event and the stroke, and she is back. She's back. She's had miracles. And so I am telling you is that when I was in that situation and I saw her, I didn't accept it. I said, no way. This is not how I'm going. My mother's going to be, period, end story. I don't accept it, and I'm not going to allow it. This is not my reality. And then all the prayers. So we are powerful, powerful healers, manifestors, and just don't get caught in the downward thinking and worrying, and stay in your positiveness. And there was a perfect divine time when I could be there, and I was the one that was able to be with her. And I know that it would probably have been a different outcome if one of my siblings were there, thinking, you know, I'm so glad they didn't get to see what I saw. I am so glad, because I think that it would, they would relive that way too much. So again, be grateful, all perfect divine time, manifest. We are co-creators, and we're creating miracles. All right, love you. Please like this video, share it, and hit the little, I guess, bell for getting alerts for Trueism Movement. And you can share some comments, and have a fabulous manifesting day, life. Love you. Bye.